No, what I'm saying is they already called him a weight bully. He beat Kell Brook coming off of a loss, an eye injury.
Yeah, so you can't say that he's not a Hall of Fame if he's beat world champions, you know.
And all this. When it comes to being great, it's not about just becoming undisputed. It's how you become undisputed.
Terence Crawford said no to Errol Spence's request to fight him again. He answered with both confidence and cynicism, and he even asked Spence in public where he fit in boxing history. Crawford didn't like it because he knew Spence had fought mostly at middleweight for most of his career. If you stay at 147 pounds, Crawford says, you're not a great boxer. He has won many divisions and been undisputed several times. Being the best fighter in every weight class is what makes a great fighter famous. Crawford's case made Spence less important in the long run and showed that winning a single division is not enough to get into the Hall of Fame.
Not think Spence will be in the Hall of Fame
right now? No, how? He fought in one division. He had a WBC,
he didn't 5-on-4. He wasn't undisputed. He wasn't undisputed.
He wasn't. No, what I'm saying is they already called him a weight bully. He beat Kell Brook coming off of a loss, an eye injury. He beat Shawn Porter.
In all fairness, he had to go over there to get that.
You know what I mean? That's a good win. I'm still a fan. I hope he do well. But like once it got to the point where I moved up in weight and I'm in the same weight as Spence, it's just like, oh man, you ain't fighting nobody. You this, you that, you this, you that. So now they trying to blemish my accomplishment just to boost him up. I'm like, dude, you're not gonna do that because I can retire right now and be in the Hall of Fame. He couldn't. Everything that I've accomplished, he's still trying to accomplish. I don't want to sound like I'm hating on him. I honestly don't know if he make it to the Hall of Fame with the accolades that he didn't got.
There is no doubt that Errol Spence wants to fight Terence Crawford again. He has made it clear that he wants a second chance. Spence said it again. A repeat has not been ruled out and is still very much possible. It doesn't matter to him what the result is, even though he failed the first time. Spence believes that he can completely change and challenge Crawford to a second fight if he makes the right changes and comes up with a better plan.
Ever a possibility where you would rematch Errol Spence? Or is he in a position where he needs to win again before that makes sense for you?
The possibility is there. He's fighting for Door for his title. I'm fighting for a title, and there's the possibility. He win his fight, God willing. I win my fight, God willing, and there's your possibility right there.
Errol Spence's dreams of getting a repeat were quickly dashed when Terence Crawford made a mean internet post. When Spence challenged Crawford, Crawford said right away that there would be no follow-up. Crawford tweeted Errol Spence Jr. that he would have to wait in line with other people who were already there. It was clear from the word that Crawford is busy with other things at the moment. Spence was told to wait if he wants to fight again, while Crawford does other things.
I want your reaction. Is a Errol Spence rematch on the table still or?
Nah.
All right, we're gonna wrap that.
I'm trying to tell you.
Boxing fans and experts have a lot to say about what Terence Crawford recently said about Errol Spence Jr. It's not clear if Crawford, with her name, should insult another great champion in public. Some people say that verbal attacks are normal in boxing, while others say that they happen too often and are bad for the sport. Stephen Hopp spoke up for Spence and said it was wrong to throw out his resume. Among them was a tough match against Shawn Porter, which he said Spence has always played against top-level opponents. Hopp says Spence's record shows that he is not only a unified winner, but also a skilled fighter who has fought the best in his class before. He says it's also wrong to ignore or downplay those accomplishments. They didn't value what Spence did in the ring by what they did.
I don't agree because he beat some notable names up there. You know, he beat Shawn Porter, he beat Peterson,
Danny Garcia.
So you can't say that he's not a Hall of Fame if he's beat world champions, you know, and beat them like in a different way. So I don't agree with that answer right there that he said. I think he a Hall of Famer. I feel like anybody who make it to that big stage and beat them big name champions is a Hall of Famer. He did something that nobody else got. So, you know.
Like technically he's a three-time champ because he won 3 belts.
Yeah. He was unified. Wasn't he unified?
Yeah, he was unified. It was just one. He was one away.
So you can't say a person is not a Hall of Famer if he's unified. Once you unified, you made them. I feel like once you become a world champion, you made them history books.
Yeah. Once you become a world champion, you make the history books, of course. But I think
Unified is Hall of Fame.
You think so?
Yeah.
Guaranteed?
Yeah, because you got all the belts.
Terence Crawford has been praised many times since his win over Errol Spence for how skilled he is and how calm he is in the ring. Many of his fans are angry now that they know how he talks in public because they used to admire him. The number of people who believe Crawford should be less proud is growing. This is especially true when talking about Spence, who has made a long and well-known impact on the sport. It made Ray Jackson mad, so he wrote about it online. He made a point of the irony by bringing up something Crawford had said about boxing fans before he was accused of being rude to Spence. That answer showed how many people really felt. Expert boxer Showbiz the Adult also spoke out. He said that Crawford should be praised for his clear win, but what he said recently has changed how some people see him. Showbiz says that what Crawford did between the ropes is what made people like him in the first place. Some people aren't sure if they want to support because of what they see as negative and pointless speech outside of it.
Right now, and be in the Hall of Fame, he couldn't.
Not think Spence will be in the Hall of Fame.
Right now? No, how?
Then, Bud, what you do? Because, Bud, Errol is your one, and you just shitted on him. I remember you dissing me on X because you want and deserve respect, and all of us are here to give it to you. But when you go shitting on another fantastic fighter who happens to be the marquee opponent on your resume, then brother, people are going to start flipping tables and they're going to start looking at you. Bottom line, Errol Spence is great and you whipped his ass. Shawn Porter is great and you whipped that ass. And what you're daring to do to take on Canelo Alvarez is beyond great. Now it's great. Good.
When compared to Crawford's own record, how much competition Errol Spence has had is one of the main things that people don't agree on since then. Spence's fans say that it was harder for him to get to the top because he always played against the best. A number of commentators have pointed out that combining titles is not enough to get uncontested standing. You need to show the best boxers in the world what you can do.
I said that Terence Crawford, his accomplishments aren't great enough. You have people jumping in my comments talking about two-time undisputed and all this shit. When it comes to being great, it's not about just becoming undisputed. It's how you become champion. Who you face. Because hell, Devin Haney fought Cambosis to become undisputed in one swoop. What? That makes him as great as Ali? Hell no. So if you say that Errol Spence isn't a Hall of Famer, bud, we start looking at y'all. Let's talk about Spence. He got the belt and unified. But who did he take the belts from and what did he try to do with you? Spence's road that you're shitting on is more violent than your.
Terence Crawford has been honest about the part of his deal with Errol Spence that lets them fight again. He still said that he's willing to fight again. He also made it clear that the question of what would happen next was still not clear. Some fans think that Spence might be able to change the story, since the first meeting seemed unfair to one side. Spence might get a second chance to show that he has grown, make the necessary changes, and improve again so that he can compete better the next time.
Haven't heard anything yet, and like I said before, it's in the contract, so it's not if I'm open to it or not. It's, you know, what's in the contract, and Errol gave me an opportunity and a shot at becoming the first male boxer, undisputed, you know, in any division in the 4-belt era, and I honor, you know, that. And if he was to come to me or activate his rematch, then
Boxing great Shane Mosley has talked about the chance of a rematch and said that he doesn't think it will go well. Mosley said he believes Terence Crawford will win once more, even if Errol Spence makes some big changes. In the first fight, he thought they were too far apart. Mosley then told Spence that instead of getting another fight right away, he should work on getting better, getting back on track, and planning the next part of his future.
Yeah, you know, he's ready. Right when I seen that, I said Crawford wins. His movement, everything was, he wins. It doesn't matter if Spence was not strong or strong. He had more of the stuff to win that fight. And Crawford is a game player. He's gonna come he come to win. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I still say Crawford anyway, but I feel bad that we didn't see the true Spence fight Crawford. If that makes any sense. I just think that Crawford has more rhythm, more movement, more stuff. And not just having more movement, more stuff, he has the power and everything just to be one of those great fighters. He has everything. And if you have Spence is not one-dimensional, but he's in that fight, he was really one-dimensional, really stiff. And if they looked like they had really a lot of problems trying to get down to his weight, didn't have enough time to work on stuff they need to work on to, attack Crawford or to do anything to Crawford. And then when they got in the ring, he was so weak. I mean, Crawford dropping him with right jabs. I'm like, dang, that bullet just dropping him.
Craig's manager, Brian Bullock McIntyre, agreed with Shane Mosley and said that he doesn't think anything will change if the two fight again. As McIntyre's side, the second fight would end the same way the first did. Crawford would win. That Crawford's performance in their first match wasn't a fluke or a one-time thing, but rather a sign of how skilled, ready, and in charge he was in general. He made that clear.
Exercised his immediate rematch clause?
I don't know if it's gonna be at 54 or 47, but I'm sure he probably gonna push the weight up, but there's no gonna be no change in the decision. The performance still is gonna be the same. It might be even a little bit better. So he might want to watch out before he activate the rematch clause.
Spence has said that he wants to fight Crawford again, even though he lost the first time. He said that Crawford should be willing to give Spence another chance if he is ready to fight Canelo Alvarez. Spence is sure that he can do much better in a rematch and might even be able to change the outcome if he changes his plan and executes it better.
I mean, it could happen. I mean, why not? If Crawford wanna challenge himself to be great, let him try to be great, So, I'm with it. So, I'll be going for Bud. If he fight Canelo, I'll be going for him. I mean, I don't know if he gonna win or lose, but I definitely be going Crawford. I think if anybody can pull it off, he can pull it off. Yeah. He's chasing greatness, so why not? Canelo came up to 175 and all that, and fought Kovalev and fought the other guy too. So I mean, if he can do it, and he started at 147. So, I mean, if he's doing it, why can't Crawford?
Crawford has been given some advice by Roy Jones Jr. and shown to ways to move forward. You can fight Spence again right away, or you can take a break and then come back to fight him. Jones says it might be best to choose a different opponent first, with more freedom to choose what his next big job is. Crawford can keep up his rhythm and speed
and then go for other fights, or do you think this is kind of like the cherry on top, and after this he should more or less retire on top?
Bud has two options. A, he can continue going up in weight, see how far he can go. I think he said already 54 is his max, so he could campaign that going to 54, maybe doing a rematch, or like I said, let Errol get himself back together first when it makes more sense, then do a rematch. You understand me? So for me, to let Errol get himself together first, then do a rematch is much better. To fight him right now, it's not good because, like I said, just the weight gain was not the only problem.
Stephen A. Smith suggested that it could happen again and told Crawford to wait at least a year before facing Spence again. Smith said that Crawford might not be in the best shape if he tries to get a second fight too soon. He said that letting both fighters grow up would make the fight more interesting and competitive. He believed that delaying the replay would raise the stakes, make the game more fair, and keep people interested.
Matter of fact, let me make a plea over the international digital airwaves of YouTube. Let me make a plea right now to Terence Crawford. I understand you just beat him. You beat him thoroughly. You're the undisputed welterweight champion of the world. The WBO, the WBA, the WBC, the IBF titles. But you hugged him after the fight for a reason. I am making a plea to Terence Crawford. Even if you elect to give Errol Spence Jr. a rematch, please do not do this for at least a year. Please don't do that. Y'all are cool with one another. I'm begging you, my brother. I'm begging you. because I know you got love. And I'm begging Errol Spence Jr., as good as you are, you were just outclassed. I say that respectfully because I got mad respect for Errol Spence Jr. Please, please do not fight Errol Spence.
Not getting into a fight with Errol Spence Jr. has made a lot of people angry. Crawford's easy win over Spence got him a lot of credit in the boxing world, but Spence was already the undisputed champion. Crawford's performance, on the other hand, made him one of the best in the sport. Crawford is clearly very good at what he does in the ring, but what he said recently has made people wonder about who he is. A lot of fans and experts who used to like him are now not so sure because they see that his behavior outside of the ring shows that he doesn't respect other people.
That's dope, man.
And I really appreciate you just being a regular dude who's very, 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 very skilled at something. I'm glad you're getting your flowers, and I hope the biggest of bags come your way in these next few years with how things play out for you, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Because you earned, bro. You earned it, bro.
And you gave us, listen, entertainment. You know what I mean? From beginning to end, it was a real display. So we appreciate you taking time, bro.
Hey, I appreciate y'all having me, man. I appreciate it.
Before we go, how soon will we get the rematch? Do you know that calendar? You know how that calendar is going to play out?
Probably, if it happened, it'd probably be the end of this year.
That's soon.
Yeah.
Like a December situation, probably, something like that?
Yeah.
There you
All
go.
right.
Terence Bud Crawford, the undisputed welterweight champion of the world.
Nice Howard Cosell there, bro.
Even though there's a lot going on, everyone is still very excited for the return. Many people believe that Spence will do much better in his second meeting if he gets stronger and gains weight. The rules might be different if the fight is at 160 pounds. This would let Spence use more strength and energy, making the fight more even and tough than the last one.
That's the fight I want to see. I want to see Bud be great, but what better buffer to see if Bud's ready at 68 than the EJ rematch of 54 and 60? And how exciting would it be to watch Errol Spence he walks at 190. I'm 185 pounds right now. I'm 5'11". To think of me cutting, and I train, to think of me cutting 50 pounds ever is fucking crazy. To think that Errol Spence Jr. walks at 190 and fights at 47 is crazy. To now think that a rematch could happen at 60, god damn, what are we talking about? Then you get to see EJ loading up on that double jab of his. You get to see muscled up a little bit. He'll be a bit more durable. Then we get to see Bud's magistry, Bud's footwork. There's so many storylines. So I'll end it with this. I've ranted a bit too far. For all you those out there saying nobody wants to see this too, it's a whitewash, it won't be competitive, you guys don't know boxing.
He added that Errol Spence might have been sick, which made it harder for him to beat Crawford. This was said by promoter Bob Arum. It wasn't a surprise to Arum that Crawford did so well. He said it was a great show and that Crawford was very talented. He went on to say that the outcome most likely would not change if the fight happened again with bigger opponents. Arum believes that Crawford is simply better, which makes it tough for Spence to win.
Lead Crawford to victory. And the clue that I saw was that of all the fights, I think at 38 fights, of all those fights, he only fought 2 southpaws. So what is that telling you? That's telling you that he has trouble with southpaw, because to have only 2 out of 38 fights, it means that his people or himself have looked to avoid southpaws. Now, Terence's big strength is that he fights equally well from either side. So instead of opening up as a right-hander, which he usually does, and then switching to southpaw, he only fought Spence as a southpaw, and Spence couldn't handle it, particularly when Crawford, who's ambidextrous, and now his right hand is his jab, is throwing it with force and hurting Spence. So once I saw Terence come out as a southpaw, in my mind, I thought, hey, the fight's over.
Were you surprised, though, by how dominant he was?
No, because Spence can't fight a lefty, and nobody even mentioned that. He can't fight a southpaw. if Crawford had fought him 5 or 6 rounds as an orthodox fighter, it would have been a different fight.
You know, given just the performance that he had and now the attention that he's getting and the recognition, how do you feel? What emotions come to mind seeing that, hey, he's finally getting his just due when so many years a lot of people try to dismiss him?
Well, I don't know if anybody dismissed him because of his ability. They dismissed him because of his drawing power or what have you. Terence was I consider Terence a great fighter before the Spence fight, and I consider him a great fighter after the fight. You know, and his dominance didn't surprise me. He is the full boat. Now, what will eventually catch up with him catches up with all of them, and that's father time. He is 35, going on 36. So at a particular point in time, not now, but down the road.
Shawn Porter, the champion, has faced Spence before and thinks that Spence would do well to fight him again. Porter knows Spence well enough to know that he will come back better and stronger if the right changes are made. A lot of people don't like Spence, but Porter thinks he still has the skills, plan, and toughness to beat Crawford and maybe even win a second match.
Round 7, and I basically was saying I know his camp and I know him. A lot of pride, a lot of heart, but you have to understand that you're not going to win this fight. If there was an adjustment you were able to find, you would have found it sooner. You're battered up, and let's leave this night where it is and move forward and become stronger from this night. And I just thought that if it had continued, that it might take away some of the things he may be able to do in and out of the ring, because as the saying goes, you never leave the ring the same way you went in, and it truly is the case, unless of course you are Terence "Bud" Crawford, who had amazing defense and an amazing offensive showing on fight night, and you don't get hit, you know.
Yeah, now you know this firsthand because you fought both of these guys before. Your dad was your coach, so you had a strong relationship there. Now, if you were coaching Spence, would you have thrown in the towel for him? When would you have done that?
I do believe that I heard he asked Errol one time if he wanted to continue, and so I do know that at a small capacity, at the least, they contemplated throwing in the towel. And I think that Derrick James is smart enough to know, hey, something has to happen. I just think that they didn't want to go, for the sake of words, go out like that. And no one does, but realism has to play a major role, especially in the sport of boxing, because realism means if I haven't won more than 6 rounds at this point, I can't even get a draw. And then he had been knocked down already. You have to look at the realism, man. You're not going to win this fight unless you get a knockout. You haven't landed one clean shot or numerous clean shots the entire night. Is that punch going to land? And when you look at realism, it says, let go of the pride, stop this fight, live to fight another day.
That's all for today's show. Careful until the next time.